sellers. We're going to go back to Belgian Blitzkrieg just for a second. I got some thoughts on this stupid game. I kind of realize it after reflecting back and watching the replays and when I'm doing the editing, things like that, that I pretty much lost it in turn 2. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what the hell's going on? I mean, how can you not put guys up there and then defend it and then so on and so forth? So that's where my thoughts come in this one. And then I looked at the scenario again, and then I looked at the map, I looked at the setup areas, and it just dawned on me what probably the optimal setup for this scenario is. So that's what this is going to be about. Hopefully it won't be too long. I'm just going to throw some thoughts out there, and we can go with that. And we can go with like different German plans, what they can do. But I think this setup is going to give you the best chance to be able to be flexible to deal with the Germans. Because that's what I found out, is that the Germans come on too fast for you to really actually do anything. So let's get to the map and let's check it out. Thanks for watching. When I first saw the scenario, kind of nice the way it's set up. I kind of like the dual victory conditions where the Germans can win instantly on turn 2 if they could take that building in Z6 right here. We'll zoom in on that one. They can take this building on Z6. You gotta think about it though. You gotta think about what the Germans need to do. If the Germans stack everybody in the game and go for that building on the first 2 turns, there's a slim chance that they can, I think there's a slim chance that they can get it. But if you use your concealments properly, and if you use your other units properly, I think the Germans can never get that building. And we'll go over why. And that was my mistake in my setup. I put too many guys there, too many forces there, too many resources there, which didn't need to be there. My resources need to be back and being prepped on turn 2 for the trucks to come on, and turn 3 for his infantry to come on. 3 turns means it's only 2 turns for me. The trucks I don't really give a crap about. They're not going to do any damage. They're not going to come down the road. They're not. Let me pop up Epic Pen. They're not coming down the road. You know, if he thinks you have any units whatsoever in that location, let me the Germans. Yep, got it. They are not coming down this road. It's just not happening. They're unarmored vehicles. They got to get through their little village. They can't go over the hedges. There's only one location where they're going to come, and that's at the top of the map. That's over here. Let me zoom out a little bit, and then let me adjust my zoom. Hold on. All right. He's not going to come there. He's going to come at the top. He's got to come at the top. He's got to come at the top, right? You know, that's not too bad. He can actually cover that entryway by sending some troops over there. But we'll ignore the trucks for right now. Let's just get what the Belgians need to do. The Belgians need to stop primarily the reinforcements, if there are any. If there are any, you don't know if there are any. The Germans, before the Belgian setup, decides how many squads, up to 5, and any support weapons leaders that are going to go those squads as the flanking. They can come to the top, they come to the bottom, they can come on the right hand side over here. It'd be kind of a dumb spot, but they can do that. They can come there. So we need to take that into account. We just assume, and on turn 1 we'll know. And on turn 1 is when you know, as the Belgians, what you're going to do as a player. Say, Stu, you're not making any goddamn sense. Well, no, probably not. But let's check out what the Belgians need to do. They could set up, which I really didn't like it. I initially set it up that the description is set up on west of Hexro S, which is my green arrow here, right? We got that. We got that. The Germans set up on E, on the EE, right? Over on that right side, way over there. And or within 2 hexes of Z6. Well, I think it's kind of stupid 2 hexes of Z6. If it was 2 hexes of Y7 or 2 hexes of the building of Z6, that would be different. But it says 2 hexes of Z6. Whether or not they mean the building, I don't know. If it meant the building, it makes a big difference. Why is that? Because then you can set up units. Your 2 hex radius then can be copied here. Let's see, clone it. So essentially 2 hex radius is kind of like that. So you could set up on this row back here as the Belgians. You could set up back in this area. This is a real key spot here, right? This is a real key spot here, only in terms of this, and this is also a really key spot. And we'll go over why that's so. And those are key spots, and you can actually get there, and we're going to cover that. And I just kicking myself not realizing that. So we have to discount that second one there because it doesn't say Y7. It says, come on, give me me that one. I'm going to delete them both, aren't I? All right, there we go. Delete that one. That's our setup right there. Boom. All right. So let's put a minimal force there. Okay, Stu, who do we decide to go there? Well, these guys, A, have to be concealed, B, have to take fire. So in your OB on the left-hand side over here, what units are you going to put in that building or in the surrounding environment that can take fire and are going to be concealed? Remember, we had 8 concealments to start out with, so we put dummies. And that's what you have to do in this one, is to put dummies on the map. Okay, Stu, that's fine. Who are we going to put? Well, we're going to take one of these 4.58s. In my opinion, we're going to split him up to a half squad. Clone him. Right? We could put him, and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to put him right here for right now. We're going to use our level 1s. I'm going to go like this. Boom, boom. They're going to be on level 1 concealed. What does that do for us? All right. We're going to put those level 1 concealed. And then let's say we're going to put a 237 and a 457 because we can't freely deploy more than 10% of our force. We only have 7 starting squads, 7.5 starting squads. We can only deploy 1 squad. So we have to put a full squad and a half squad. Now we could put one up here. We could put them here, whatever you want to do. But let's take a look at what the German can do. All right, let's assume we're going to put them in the building right here. Let's see how far the German can actually get. So we're going to move these guys. These guys are in that building right there. Back it up, and let's see what the Germans can do. Let's go with his initial setup right here. Right? So we don't know, and we just have to take of what the Germans can do in 2 turns. What can he do in 2 turns? Well, what did he do in 2 turns? He sets up the massive fire group, which most German players do. 2 mediums. Let me see if I get this on there. 2 mediums, 2 squads, best leader. You know, the same rigmarole. And sorry, I gotta name this guy. I don't care. Yeah, Klaus. Yeah, you gotta write me. And we're just gonna call him. Jeez. All right. So that's what we got. He's gonna take a shot at one of the concealed units, at the guys at first level, because the guys at first level are the ones that are going to shoot the guys moving in open ground. Okay. He's taken care of during turn 1. Turn 1, he's done. Okay. He doesn't do anything. Mortar? You could argue that you could dismantle the mortar and take it forward, but, which I thought he would do. I thought he would dismantle the mortar and then use it essentially on the P4 area over here later on the game by moving it forward. Because it's so heavy, you can't move it by yourself. You're not going anywhere. Hell, he can only go 1 hex, and he can't even do that. The only hex that mortar can move from this location. All right, I didn't move him there. The only thing he can move, he can only move into this location because he only has 2 MF. Well, actually, technically, he can move here. He can't move here. That's 2.5 MF. There's 1, and then pfft, that's too far. He moves 1 freaking hex. So he's gonna fire. Hope for crit. That's a you know, dealer's choice sort of thing. I think I would have dismantled it and just moved it. Mortar's not gonna be shit against the stone building and wishing for a crit in like 3 or 4 rolls. It can happen. It can happen. Nah. Or put it on the road. Put it over here. Like maybe an FF6. But anyway, so those 2 guys are done, right? And let's say the rest of those guys are going to assault the building. They're not going to do an end around like he did before. They're not going to do an end around. Remember, we got to decide what the Germans can do. They're not going to come this way. They're not going to care about those woods. They only care about is can they take this building? Can they take this building fully controlled by the end of turn 2, which is the end of the Belgians' turn. So they have to clear it in the Germans' turn, take control of it in the Germans' turn, and then maintain that control throughout the Belgians' turn. Can they do that with that force on there? Thinking that he'll probably take 4 to 5 squads. I don't think 3 is good to take on a flanking force, just simply because, you know, you can get unlucky on a shot. You know, let's say he comes up here. Let's say he only takes 3 guys and he's got 2 more squads, right? So I always think the worst. So if he's coming up here, let's say he comes on this side, right? Oh my God, what is that? Let's erase that. Let's see, he comes on here, boom, boom, and moves here, and then the other squad, you know, they double up somewhere. Well, my gun opens up, right? Point blank, 2 hexes, -1. You got a base 8 to hit. You got non-assault movement. Let's say they just assault move. The assault move advanced phase. They're concealed. Yeah. 2 hexes away. Base 8. Hedge makes it a 7. Concealed makes it a 5. Point blank makes it a 6. Rate of fire 3. So we start firing our weapon. Pow, pow, pow. To hit. 5 hits. Rate of fire. Effect. Hit, 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 nothing. So we got 4 or 5 shots. That was a damn lucky roll. That Basil dice bot going on it for you. So that's just a random effect. Let's fire again. Right? Let's go to hit. Miss. Screwed. He fires on me, no big deal. He advance fires. He's going to have 6 firepower, maybe. 6 plus 2. Back at me. No effect. My turn comes. I prep fire. They're -1 to hit now. Fire. Hit. Rate of fire. Effect. Hit again. Effect. Okay. Again, let's say it's a 1 morale check. Takes a morale check. Fine. Let's say he took another morale check. Break. Let's say 2 guys were there. So, again, the risk is high with only 3 units. So we assume he takes 4 to 5 units. And a leader, maybe a support weapon. I don't know. I would take at least a light machine gun if they've got one in an OB. He has 3 light machine guns in his OB and an ATR. So the ATR, obviously, I would think that he would take on a flank to get up there in case those vehicles come on. You know, he could pop a long shot. 12 range is excellent. So we're going to assume that he's going to take 4 to 5 squads. Can those guys on the right-hand side even have a chance of taking that building? Let's see what they're going to be up against. Let's conceal 1 guy. 1 guy. We're going to give him a piece of cake. We're going to give him some candy. Here you go, little girl. Here's some candy. Take some candy from the bowl. We're going to give him something to look at, right? We don't care. Why don't we care? We're not going to conceal this guy. And these guys are going to be on level 1. All right? These guys are on level 1. I'll just stack them there for you. Okay? The 4, 5, 7 in the back. Maybe we'll put them in the front. Maybe we'll put them in the front. No, because the Germans set up after. We have to put them right there. We put them there. What's the German going to do? So we don't conceal him. Say, Stu, you're giving him away. He's going to get blasted in the first turn. Well, what's going to shoot at him? Right? Look what his setup is. Let's say his best setup to avoid the most hindrances looks like to be about, holy smokes, he has to be over here. Because if you look at it, you know, his best shot is going to be, you know, maybe that's going to be blocked. He has to be like over here. He has to be like right there, right? So he's got to fire through all that crap. How much is he going to fire through? He's going to fire through 1. Let's see if we can fire through 1, 2, 3 hindrances, and a +3 building. +6. Remember, like we were saying before, on the, let's say he puts a big fat boy here. Right there. We're going to set him up. We're going to kill you. You're not concealed. Boom. Right? Let's stack these so it's not annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First of all, that's a 7 hex range. If we want to move him up to 6 hex range, he's got to go here. And then he's going through 1, 2, 3. He's still going through 3. Let's set him up here. Maximize the German firepower. Move the half squad. Let's just say he's right there. Okay. Maximum firepower. He could put another 4 in there. I don't care. That's going to be 4, 8, plus 10, 18. Let's say he gets a 20 chart. Let's say he throws another 4, 6, 7 there, right? First of all, if he does that, he's really screwing himself. So let's put 16 there. 16 plus 6, -1 for the leader. Nothing. Let's see what a 7 does. Let's see what a 7. Let's use the rule 7. Look at the rule 7. 16, 7 plus 5. That takes it down to a 12, which is off the chart. He has to roll a 6. A 6 for a pin task check. In the best position that he has the most firepower. That guy's immune. What we're doing is we're saying, hey, come and get me. Come and get me if you want, right? The other guy's concealed. The other guys are concealed. So if he fires, he shouldn't, but if he fires, that's his key. But let's move him down here. Let's say he fired. Well, he's not going to fire from that position. So he's completely defensible, Y7. Guys up top, maintain concealment. They could take an 8+2 shot from big boy up here. Let's say he strips concealment. Turn 1. We have another guy concealed, right? What's going to happen? When he strips his concealment, most likely it's going to be a 1 morale check or a normal morale check, which is a 0 modifier on our roll. Okay? 8, pin. Okay, so what? So when these bozos come forward, we can either move this 2, 3, 7 here or here. Probably here would be best. Or we just leave him in the building. And, right? And we can leave these guys. Let's say we have like that. We're going to use one concealment in the back. We'll set up these guys in 1 second. How far can the Germans get? Well, he's got to assume somebody might be up there. What we're going to have in the back here. Whoops. Let's show him what we have in the back, because this is we're going to decide how he can react. What we are going to have in the back is we're going to have our 2, 3, 7s over there. We're going to have 4, 5, 7. That's what he's going to see. He's going to see boom, boom, boom. We're just going to stack. Mortar, medium. Let's just say we put our leader there as well. All right. And we put this guy here, sort of like what we had before. And say like that guy. Well, let me see that we need to stack them there, right? Let's say Dax is. Let's just say Dax is right there. Let's put the concealment on him. Let's put the concealment on him. Say, Stu, that guy's unconcealed. What the hell? It's not going to help. Doesn't matter. He can't inspect him. He cannot inspect him because it does not have line of sight to that unit with onboard units. So what's going to happen? You got it. He'll gain concealment at the beginning of the game. He only knows that there's a 1, 4, 5, 7 back there. There could be dummies under there. You can put them on top. You have a stack of dummies, right? Right? You could have 4, 5, 7 on top. Let me unconceal him, right? I can do that. That's legitimate. I could set this guy up right here. Actually, the dummies have to be set up in concealment terrain. So I can set him up right there. They say, damn, Stu, you got like 4, 5, 6 units under there, right? That's legitimate. That's legitimate concealment. That's legitimate setup. And then guess what? You'll gain concealment beginning turn. Actually, put one on top of him, right? So he'll grow a concealment. So he'll grow one. Okay, dang it. Right? So he'll grow a concealment. And these dummies will be, therefore, on top of him. So that's what we're doing right here. We're concealing the fact that he doesn't know what's in that stack. There could be half squads. I would assume there would be half squads in there. There'd be there's one guy, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 counters. Let's say there's probably a leader, a half squad, and a support weapon. Leader, half squad, support weapon, and maybe another half squad. You know, because he doesn't see these half squads over here yet. He doesn't know where the half squads are. So he's on top. Actually, let's move that. He's on top. Okay, we've got... I think we had 3 over here. We lost 1, right? So we've got 1 there, 2 up there in the middle, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do this. Okay, I think that's 8, right? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we need to kind of keep one of these concealed in the back so he doesn't quite know what it is. Or you can kind of go like that. I don't think you want to do that. Actually, I don't think that matters that much. I think you could do that. I think you could do that and put another concealment up front. Right? Or you could put another concealment right here. Act like it's the leader. Act like he's the leader. Or a guy's with a machine gun, right? So we got that sort of setup up front. So he sees this. Both of these units will be concealed beginning of the game. Okay? We'll come back to those. So that's what he sees. And then he sees this up here. Says, okay, I see 2 squads back there. That leaves 5 squads that could potentially be in here. Let's say he accounts for another squad and a half there. So that means he's dealing with 4 squads up in this front area. Because he knows that Belgian has to defend it. So, how does the German approach? First of all, let's just CX and see how far they can get. Let's see how far they can get. CXing and not CXing. 247. Let's go non-CXing. 1.5, 3. 1.5, 3. Let's go 4. That's dangerous. This guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Separately, of course. That's disaster just waiting to happen. Again, disaster here. 1, 2, 3. That's it. These guys. 1, 2, 3.5, 4, 5. And then the other guy moves here. Sort of like he did during the game. Okay. That's turn 1. These guys in the back have prep fired. No movement. Okay. At the end of turn 1, German turn 1, let's say nothing happens. Let's say this guy gets revealed, delete. Let's say this guy gets revealed, delete, because we fired on them. No effect. No effect whatsoever. 4, 5, 7. We could take a shot here, but let's say no effect. All right. 4. That's a 4+1 shot. That guy moving. Nothing happens. Everyone else remains concealed. All right. What's he going to do? Let's say he'll try to attack, and let's say he jumps into close combat. Let's say he does something like this. And let's say this guy moves up, and let's say he moves up here, and let's say he moves up here. Okay, he's moving forward. Let's just push him forward. Push him forward, Stu. Turn 1, that's where he goes. Okay, turn 2 comes along. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Stu? All right. Now we got to get out. We got to get out of the top. Now those guys are going to be annihilated. We move down. Okay. And then we could then this unit here. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this unit here, and we're going to. I don't want you. I don't want you. Then we can go assault move over here, right on our stack because our 248s are now dropped down below, and we could assault move this unit up over here. 248s right here. Okay, nobody's on first level. He fires. He's not going to have shit for firepower. He might get a 12 plus 4 shot. He needs a 5 for a morale check. Not going to happen. This guy's revealed and gone at the end of the first turn, right? We don't care. We don't care about that. What can the Belgians do at this point? Because these units in the back, and this is the key. This is the key to the defense. You will never. I don't think you will ever lose the building this way. Because these guys are in the back. What can they do? Belgian turn 1. These guys are in this building. I think the Germans have to take this building 100%. What can the Germans do? Well, they need to cover this avenue here, and they might need to cover some entry over here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's say we just move the machine gun up here with him. Okay. Let's just say the mortar stays there. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Let's just say we got something like this going on. And these guys are just sitting right here, sitting pretty, right there. Just stay there. Stu, you do that. Let's just say we release our mortar. We fire a mortar, we give our mortar position away, and we start popping acquisition. Just for the hell of it. Just to show him that we're the man. Let's just say there's only -1 acquisition because we didn't roll a 2. Let's say what's our to hit? 10. Typical Stu roll. We got a -1 acquisition. We're happy. Okay. And then that's in defensive fire phase. Let's say the advanced fire phase. In our turn, we fire again. No, not size. Sorry. We fire again and get a second acquisition. Okay. Our mortar is not revealed because no one has LOS to it. So he doesn't know if that's a 237. He doesn't know if that's a 457. He doesn't know if it's a 458 or 248. All he knows is there's a mortar there. Now, you've probably gotten in his mind that there's a 237 there because these units moved up. Right? Give me a clone. Give me a clone. 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 Alright. These units moved up. Most likely one of them's a leader. Most likely one of them's a support weapon. Right? I have no problem with that. But you move up. I don't think we want to move up to W6. You might want to move the medium here. Right there. You know why? Because you, at the end of the turn, let's say you advance. And let's say you advance here. Right? Because his trucks are coming on turn 2. And just keep that guy there. We're just throwing those guys out there. Turn 2 comes. German turn 2. Well, you advance. Now, I'm sorry, at the end of the Belgian turn, nothing happens. You advance those guys upstairs. And you advance these guys upstairs. Now, he simply can't take the building. He simply can't take the building. It's impossible for him to take it. The best he can do, well, he'd have to, the only way he could take the building on turn 2 is to break absolutely everybody. He'd have to break the units at bottom level here, which, in turn, you could think about it, he can simply move up as well, or move out. Right? He could simply move out to stop the Germans from getting that extra movement. Because if this unit drops smoke, he could potentially drop smoke here and then advance to that location and jump into close combat. But, I mean, he can still do the same thing. But if you're there, he can't go into your hex having access to the building. So you're just cutting off access to the building. That's all you're doing. So the 468 can drop smoke here. That's fine and dandy. His units can move up. Right? But these guys down here, they got to go around. Let's see, 1.5, 3. 1.5, 3, right? They got to take a 4 even shot, or 4-1 for non-assault movement. Subsequent first fire at 2-1 from the same unit. So 4-1, 2-1, not bad. We're going to get a morale check on one of those shots. And then he knows the 4-5-7's right there, and we're going to take an 8-1 right in the face there. Most likely he's not going to survive. So my point is you can't get that 4-5-7 out of that spot. Can't do it unless the mortar crits. That's the only way. Can't get out of that spot. So what's that mean? That means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads. That's what he's going to bring on turn 3. 5 squads. At this point, his trucks will come on. Let's say his trucks come on WY1, right? If they don't come on, if they try to come on Y1, he's going to get annihilated. He can't bring them on at Y1. He has to bring them on in the back, right? He's just going to drive them up here. He's not going to drive them any further because they're going to get shot, right? So that's all there's to it. He's just going to drive them up here. He might end a bypass right there, but I doubt it. Let's just say he drives them up here. He's not going to drive them on the road. I mean, if he wants to draw fire, he can do that. But he can't take the building in turn 2. And what does that do for us? That minimizes, we only have 2.5 squads. We have about a third of our force up in that building defending the building. Because he can't go any further on his initial 2 turns. The wheat fields slow him down, and he might not want to risk running in open ground because we've got those units on first level to take 2-2 shots on him and leave 1 residual. The wheat fields slow him down. He cannot get there. And if he does get there by CXing, let's say he goes another hex CXing, then he's going to be jumped in close combat, or he won't be able to break anybody because now it's going to be a +1 to his fire and be unable to even affect anyone in that building. So let's say this whole force gets annihilated by the beginning, let's say, well, turn 3. Let's say turn 3 comes and goes. The Germans have obtained the building. These guys are gone. Right? And Germans are like in this position. Let's just say they've obtained the building at turn 3. These guys have moved up. He's not going to move very far. He might dismantle the weapon. Let's just say he's right there for the hell of it. So again, we have minus acquisition over here. And another thing we can do is we might want to preserve the medium machine gun at this point. The only point of moving him here is to draw that fire lane down below. Is to draw fire down here. I was thinking about moving the units, moving all my great Belgians in the beginning to this location and like this location. But you don't need to. Why don't you need to, Stu? I was thinking about moving my medium machine gun here. You know, you're a strong position. Let's say there's a 4.58 there. You want to give that guy to the 4.58. He's going to be carrying the medium machine gun because he's going to be taking fire. We could lay down a fire lane this direction. Clone that. And it's going to be a 2 fire. It's going to be a 2 firepower fire lane. I'm not going to bother changing the 1 to go up to 2. You get the idea. That's my fire lane down that direction. Control Z. Alt degree. Okay. It's going to go like that. Okay. So if he wants to, even on the second turn, actually, if we wanted to do that, we could set the medium machine gun up right there. We could set the medium machine gun up right there. He can't get to the woods of the first turn. We could simply bypass 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if he takes his light machine gun here, he won't be able to shoot at us at those locations. If we don't want to bypass, we go... he might be able to see the bypass, but I don't think so. You go 2, then bypass 3, 4, and then advance. Set up for the fire lane, because remember, the Germans were here at the end of turn 1. So then you advance here. When he moves, then you fire lane. Of course, your guy is going to be in this location here. Then you set up the fire lane. He's got more firepower to go from. So if you wanted to give yourself a little bit more defense on that side, plus the medium machine gun could also fire down to that location. 8 firepower with the mortar right behind it. So strong defense of the building there. Why would you put that guy there? Why would you bring the medium machine gun up at that point? I think you could put him there safely. In case you think your opponent's not going to put that many guys in the flanking. If you think he's only going to put a couple guys flanking 2 squads, 3 squads maybe, and you'll leave 2 more squads here, maybe you put the medium there to bring up, to bolster your defense. Maybe. Okay? When you get that fire lane going, it'll be the extra help you'll need versus those 2 extra squads. Okay, this unit doesn't necessarily be here because he's going to be shot by this guy, but he could be here to defend against movements going this direction. If he decides to start going this way, you've got that road covered. This guy, he's got shots here, he's got shots there. Okay, so if he wants to move in that direction, you have that movement covered. So, but taking a reflection back on what the scenario card offers, where you can set up, because you could set up in the S row, because you could set up in concealment terrain, you'll be able to place either one concealment or dummy there or nothing, and then grow concealments at the beginning of the turn, fire your mortar at the bottom row down here. You may fire your mortar there with impunity and get -2 acquisition there. Is he going to move there initially? Is Klaus going to end up there? I wouldn't. If I was Klaus, I'd probably end up here. I wouldn't want to go to -2, right? I wouldn't want to do that. You stop him from going here, what does that do? If you stop him from going here, that stops Klaus from providing support fire to the initial victory location. Okay, so put Klaus there. The +2, the -2 and the +2 will cancel. You'll need a base 7 to hit, right? When he moves there, you'll need a base 5 for the first shot, 6 for the second shot, 7 for the third shot. You may not get a third shot off. So that's what we're looking at in strictly defense. Why did I lose? Because I didn't get enough units back. And I was thinking to myself, damn, Stu, how are you going to move him back? When are you going to pull him out of the building? When can you pull him out of the building? And then it dawned on me, don't bother putting them in the building. He has to figure out which ones are dummies. Now you can shell game more dummies around however the way you feel the dummies are better used in your experience against the opponents that you normally play. Figure out what they don't like to do versus dummies. He's obviously going to know some of those dummies are there. You know, obviously somebody's got to be a dummy around there somewhere, simply because of the stacks in the back. But we don't care. He has to figure that out. As long as he load the building up and maybe put like one guy in AA6. I think AA6 is pretty risky, simply because he can like jump you in close combat in the first turn. He can't get to you in Z6, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You can't die. You just have to be alive so he can't control the building. So a minimal force. I think 2.5 squads we had in there. Minimal force. One of our 458s has to sacrifice himself just to have the morale to pass those morale checks. To pin. You know, we got a 1 morale check. Okay, 7. Big deal. Pin. Okay, we're fine with that. You know, we're fine with that. But he won't be able to muster enough firepower to crack it in 2 turns unless he puts all of his units there, and then he has to charge with everybody. You know, if he puts all of his units on the board, these guys have to flank on this side, right? They'll have to come on this side. Let's say they advance. Let's say they advance here. They count. Let's say they just. You've got a 12 firepower column there, and you've got that guy here. Now we've got a couple. Now we got a couple extra shots popping on the building. If he does that, if he front loads that, he's there at the end of turn 1. What do you do at the end of turn 1? If you want your mediums up here, let's say your medium was back here, then you bring your medium up hard. You bring him up hard, you bring your medium up here. You bring this guy up here, and this guy go 1, 2, 3, and then advance here. So we got double coverage. So now, if he wants to move here and advance to the building, we've got that shot covered. That'll be a -2 in the open right there. He might smoke it, but that'll be a -2 in the open. Doesn't look like it hits the hindrance or not. Doesn't matter. We have a lot of firepower. Okay, he's going to be taking shots. All right, he's going to be taking shots, and then he's got to get to Y7 anyway. And Y7 is where we have the squad, the half squad, and the other half squad up on top. So Y7 is a real hex that we need to defend, and we could fire into Z6 in that location there. Again, these units here, these Germans here, it's tough for them to get there in 2 turns. These guys can get there in 2 turns, but if you have your infantry in the back, in the S row, right? If you have your infantry in the S row, then you can move them up and give supporting fire, and you don't have to be trapped. That building is a trap. Don't fall into the trap. Once you're in this building, what did he do to me? He had his light machine gun right where... He had his light machine gun right where he has it, there, and he's got a fire lane down this row. I can't run away from the building. I can't run out of the building that way. And he brought guys down here. He fires this way. So he has to be trapped in that building. That's exactly what he wants to do. That's exactly what he wants to do. So you can't get out, to go back to the town, to have his reinforcements come on, either top or bottom, or both, to go pursue the actual victory at the building. So that's the trap that I fell in, that I threw too many units. I threw all my units in that building. That, in essence, lost me the game immediately. And for all intents and purposes, it lost me the game immediately. Because by the time turn 2 comes around, I couldn't really retreat from the building at full movement factors. And now his units are on T row coming on and going on to their victory. And I can't, and now I'm behind him. So as he's taking buildings, I'm coming behind. Now I have to assault him in the building. You can't have that. You got to have your troops in position. You got to have your troops in position to defend the building for maybe 1 turn. That's all you need is one shot. And then, let's say he moves on here, right? Big deal. Now we've got the smoke covering us. We just move back. We just move back. Like I did. I moved down here. I reacted. I moved down there. Reacted. And when you've got another squads, 2-3 squads, being machine gun coming up, when they set up, when he gets caught out in the road down here, let's clear that off. When he gets caught out down here, let's say Klaus is the guy to say, these are the guys that are running down here, right? During the game. My units are already over here. A couple ragtag guys. Let's see, these guys are 1, 2, 3, 4 advance, right? And then during our prep fire, he's in his, let's say he's in his positions here. He's got like a leg up on me, something like that, right? He's maybe advanced over here. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can advance right into our building. You know, or get up into this sort of location up in here, or get into this location where we come behind him. But essentially what we do is now we have 3 squads against his 3 squads, and he's got to move. If we get into a position of where we just advance, let's say we make it to V7 or N5, we advance into this location here. Now he's got to come across. Now we can cover where he's going to move. Okay? Or if he's coming the top side, if he came the top side, you know, boom, and let's say he makes it like to here, right? Then we simply move up here, and we still have a decent coverage, right? We still have a decent coverage. He could fire the entire way to M1. M1's covered. M2's not, but M1's covered. Okay? So, but the key, the take-home lesson is, don't put all your guys up front. I don't think you can win when you put all your guys up in the building. And that's exactly what I did. And I kind of knew at the end of turn 2, simply because of where he had his LMG and he had his other guys at the bottom, the game was over essentially at the end of turn 2. So that's the thought process that I did not go through in pre-planning the scenario. I was excited to play the scenario because they're Belgians, you know, I got dice and, you know, we're nice scenario. It's a cool board. I hadn't played on this board before. It's got funky victory conditions going on. It's got dummies. It's got trucks. It's got variable setup conditions. A lot of little things tied into this one. Every single time you read a scenario like that, where it's got a lot of little things tied into it, there's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. And the trick is defending this building without actually having to be there. And that's what these guys did in the S row. That's what we did in the S row. We had most of our strike force there. If we needed to charge the building, because he put all of his guys on the board, and we'll know that from turn 1 because our guys are on level 1, most of his guys are not going to get concealment. We'll know that from turn 1, and we can move them forward and help defend the building. We can do that. Not a problem. Because that's just the game allows us to do that. We are close enough to respond to his assault. So read your scenarios very carefully. Don't read them just cursorily, just like I did, and just, oh, okay, I got to defend that. If I don't want to lose at end of turn 2, and I put all my eggs in one basket. And essentially, instead of losing on turn 2, I lost on turn 0. I lost at the beginning of the game. Fun game still. I mean, we had a blast. Close combat was a bitch. But that's how I reflected back on watching the video, watching my play. And funny, when I was playing, it's like, at turn 3, I still got a chance. I still got a chance. Turn 3, still got a chance. Not really. Not really. He had me outmanned in the back. And I had my medium pinchered between both of his units in U9. Right here. Had him right there. He wasn't going anywhere. That was a do or die situation. And it was over. It was over by turn 2, to be honest with you. So if you guys play this one, sneak those guys, load up that building with half squads. Don't even put a leader there. You're not gonna have any time to rally him. No one in that building that breaks is gonna be able to rally. You're just not. You're just gonna be DM'd all the time. He's got too many units. You're not gonna rally him. Don't waste your leader. You need your leader to move your units back. Move, and move the mortar around. So actually, the mortar's only 3 portage points. You don't even need a leader for that. Move your units around, or deploy even more. So take that for what it's worth. That's my self-evaluation on how I lost the scenario. Thinking the situation, working on what he can move and how far he can actually go in 2 turns to get into this first level of that building. He can't do it if you load it. He can't do it. You don't need full squads, just put half squads, and they just need to sustain some fire. Keep them concealed. They will do it. They will extend the game until turn 7. Hopefully turn 5 until your tanks come on and your 5 other squads. So you get your 5 squads there. You've got your 3.5 squads, 4 squads that are in the center. You've got 9 squads. Now you outnumber him 2-1 on his flanking force, and his other forces are way back here. It'll take him 4 turns to get there. Okay? There's our strategy thoughts for this one. A little intense. Hopefully I wasn't all over the damn place. But you have to think of these things before they happen. I didn't, and look what it got me. You got to think of what's going to happen before it actually happens, or prep for it. I know he can do this. I know he can do that. He can move there. He can move there. He can fire here. Okay? Know what he can do, and therefore you know what he can't do. So, thanks for watching Vaseline with Stu. We'll catch you guys later. Play ASL. Roll low. Thank you.